Hi everybody, I'm Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Thank you very much for joining me for May's Bake-A-Tale. So Bake-A-Tale is a program where I tell you about some books and maybe a couple of recipes and some crafts to do while you're waiting for your treats to come out of the oven. May's program is all about May flowers. Have you ever heard the saying, April showers bring May flowers? Well, we're going to talk about May flowers today. So the recipes I have this time are for cookies, sugar cookies. And they kind of reminded me of flowers because some of them have beautiful sprinkles on, which remind me of flowers. And some of them actually look like flowers. One of the recipes is from one of the books I'm going to tell you about, and the other one I found, and you can actually do that recipe two ways. You can make regular drop cookies, or you can roll them out and make cookies that look like flowers, like that. So, doesn't get any more flowery than flower-shaped cookies. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The books I have to share with you this time are some of my favorites because, you know I like books about cookies. So this one is called Who Put the Cookies in the Cookie Jar? And it's written by George Shannon, and its illustrations are by Julie Pashkus. And this story is about not only making the cookies, so somebody made all these wonderful looking cookies to put in the cookie jar, but before that, somebody made the cookie sheet. Somebody milked the cow to get the milk. Somebody drove all the ingredients to the store so we could buy them to make cookies. So this book is all about helping and how everybody works together to do good things like making cookies. I also really like stories about flowers. This one is called Zinnia's Flower Garden, and it's written and illustrated by Monica Wellington. And this one is all about how Zinnia gets her garden ready to grow beautiful flowers for her to share. And this third book that I have to share with you might be my favorite flower book. It's called Allison Cinnia, and it's written and illustrated by Anita LaBelle. And in this story, a girl named Allison acquires an amaryllis for her friend Beryl, and then Beryl buys a begonia for her friend Crystal, and it goes on all through the alphabet. So it's all about beautiful flowers and making flowers to growing flowers, buying flowers, getting flowers to share with somebody. And that's what we can be doing too with the cookies, and also the crafts for this time are about flowers. We are going to make flower magnets and flower bookmarks and flowers like this that you can make into a picture or a card. And those will all be in the kit that you can pick up in the children's room. You can come in to the children's room and pick it up, or you can call us and reserve. We'll be happy to take them upstairs for you so you can pick them up at curbside service. But each kit will have the recipes to make the cookies and also materials to do your craft. So I will tell you about the cookies next. Thanks, friends. Friends, as always, the most important thing to remember about baking is you need to bake with an adult. Baking's more fun when you bake together, and cookies do require a hot oven, so make sure that there's a grown-up nearby anytime you're baking. So today we have sugar cookies two different ways, from two different recipes. These sugar cookies actually come from a recipe in this book, Who Put the Cookies in the Cookie Jar? So a copy of this recipe will be in your kit, and it's just a traditional sugar cookie recipe, and it's pretty straightforward. It's very easy. It requires some butter, and I just soften mine. It says you can melt the butter, so it will work either way. So whatever you want to do is fine. These are easy to mix, easy to stir, but the dough does get a little sticky. So with these ones, you scoop it out. I used a cookie scoop. You can use a cookie scoop or take it out by spoonfuls, put it on your cookie tray, and I line mine with parchment paper. Since the dough's a little sticky, I wet my hand before I flattened them so the dough wouldn't stick. So that's all you do. Scoop them out, flatten them a little bit, and then I used two kinds of sprinkles on mine. I used rainbow colored sugar and pink colored sugar because that's what reminded me of flowers. They do spread out a little bit, so you don't want to put them too close together, and you can kind of see where some of mine, I had to detach them from one another, but I thought that was okay. But if you don't want them to spread as much, you can try chilling the dough for a little bit first. The other recipe is one I found on the internet, and these are actually called vegan funfetti sugar cookies. And friends, I don't know why I didn't know about these before, but these sprinkle cookies where you mix the sprinkles into the dough are now my new favorite thing. So I might be making these all the time. Vegan cookies means they're made without any dairy products. And I actually did have some vegan butter at home, so I used that. But these will work fine with regular butter and regular milk also. I actually made them twice. I did one the regular way, where you do drop cookies like the other ones. Again, I used a cookie scoop, easy peasy. But I also did the variation, which is for rolling them out and making cutout cookies. And for that, you just omit the baking soda, and then you chill it for longer. So I chilled my dough for about an hour, and then it was very easy to work with. And when I roll out cookies, I do it between two pieces of parchment paper. So a piece of parchment paper, little flour on it, put my dough down, put another piece of parchment paper on top, and use my rolling pin on top of that. And these are easy to mix and easy to roll out, so it worked fine. I actually did, it said you could use 4 or 5 tablespoons of sprinkles. I used 5 because I wanted mine to be very sprinkly, and I used these bigger sprinkles and the little rainbow nonpareils too. Just mix it right into the dough, and again, it's very easy. Now, when I decided I was going to do flour cookies with you this month, I went all in and used that as an excuse to buy new flour cookie cutters. These bigger ones I got at Target, and these cute little ones to make little flowers I got from Michael's. But if you don't have flour cookie cutters, you can use any kind you want. Or again, you can just make them the regular way and do drop cookies. And in these ones, I think you can see the sprinkles a little bit more. And in the flour cookies, I like this effect because I think it looks a little bit like stained glass windows when you flatten the dough and bake them that way. But my favorite thing about doing these kind of rolled and cut out cookies is that with the sprinkles, they're already all decorated when they come out of the oven. So I just left mine plain like this, but fancy with sprinkles. And if you want to, you can do it like that, or you are welcome to decorate them even more. Put some icing on and decorate them however you like to really make your flowers look beautiful. The kits have 3 flower crafts for you to do. And the first one are flower magnets. So there'll be a little magnet on the back of these. You can hang it up on something metal that the magnet will stick to, or if you want to hang it up a different way, you're welcome to do that too. You can use your imagination and decorate them however you would like, but in the kit, there will be 3 assorted pieces of colored foam. They might be different for everybody's kit. A template that has the shape on it and the shape of the circle in case you decide to put the circle in the center. Again, you can design it however you'd like, but the circle will be there if you'd like to use that. And a bag with some sequins and a glue stick, and the magnets will be in there too. So all you'll do is cut out the flower shape and then trace it. There's actually 2 on here, but you really only need 1. Take the flower shape, put it down on a piece of foam, and trace around it. If you leave a little bit of space, then you can make the center out of the same foam or other pieces to decorate with out of the same piece of foam. And these are just extra pieces of foam that we had, so they're all a little bit different in size, but you would be able to at least fit a flower on all of them. Once you've cut out your parts, you just glue them all together. You can decide how to put the sequins on if you want to use them. It's up to you. The design can be whatever you'd like. Then when you're finished, you've got it all arranged. You can draw things on too. You just take the magnet, take off the sticky back, and stick it on to the back of the flower, and then you're set. The next craft that we'll make are pipe cleaner flower bookmarks. And in your kit, there will be enough pipe cleaners to make 2, and then you'll have a little bit left over at the end, because for each of the flower bookmarks, you'll need 2 whole pipe cleaners and 2 halves. There's a half for the center part, and there's a half pipe cleaner for the stem, and the whole ones are to make the petals of the flower. So when you're working with pipe cleaners, please do be careful. Do remember, you can be a little sharp on the ends and a little pokey, so just be careful when you're working with them. The first thing you'll do is decide what colors you want for your petals. So you'll need 2 whole ones for that, and you will just shape them into petal shapes. And friends, this really isn't a hard craft, and yet I feel like it took me approximately 11 billion tries to get them sort of looking like flowers. But that's the good thing about pipe cleaners. Nothing's glued down, so if it's not looking quite right, just undo it, straighten out the pipe cleaners, and try again, like I did. This is going to be half of your petals. You take the pipe cleaner and just sort of shape it into something that you think looks like a petal and then twist it around. I could only manage to get 3 out of the whole ones. If you make them smaller, you can probably get more petals, but I did about 3. And then just twist it on the end a little bit to hold it together. And then you will decide what you want to do for your stem. There will be a green pipe cleaner in each of the kits, so if you decide to go with a traditional green stem, you'll just cut that one in half. But if you want to do a different color, that's okay. You can just cut that one in half too. So if you cut one in half, you can make 2 stems with it, or you could make half of it with the stem and half of it with the center. So you will take another half and either roll it around your finger, roll it around a pencil. You want it to be a little coil like that, a little spiral shape. And then you will take your petals and sort of layer them a little bit. So you just want to kind of move them around so it'll look like a flower. And then you'll take this coil and put it on top and twist it around behind to fasten them. Let me show you. So the coil's here in the middle, and on the back, it's attached around the petals, and that's what's holding it together. So after you've got that arranged like you'd like, take your half piece, it's going to be the stem, and I just sort of attached it underneath the center part of the coil, and I attached it that way. So just find something that you can twist it onto or stick it under and tighten, and then you're good to go. I actually took the end of the flower, the bottom of the stem, and I twisted it up a little bit so it wouldn't poke me or poke the pages of my book when I use it as a bookmark. And again, if you don't like the way it looks, straighten it out and try again. You'll just want to sort of round the petals or get them however you'd like. If you want them to be pointier, you can do it that way. So this is your craft too. You can make it however you'd like and decide what would be the best way to make your flower bookmark. The third craft this month is this 3D heart flower. You can decide if you would like to make it into just a picture like this or a card, because in your kit there will be a template with all the shapes to cut out, and then a piece of red paper, green paper, pink paper, and white paper. If you want to make this into a card, you can fold the paper in half and do it that way. If you want to just make it a flat picture like this, just on one piece of paper, not a card, then you could just cut the white paper in half, and you could probably make 2. If you do decide to make it a card, this would be the front. The card would open like this, where you could write something inside, so you would want to put it on this part. But if you do make it into a card, you will probably have to give it to somebody in person instead of sending it through the mail, because it might get a little squished if you try to put it in an envelope. So what you do for this one, you take this template sheet, and you really only have to cut out 1 heart. You can cut out more if you want, and then more people can be tracing and cutting at the same time. But you'll cut out a heart, and you want to make 10 on the pink sheet and 2 on the green, which will be the petals of the flower and the leaves. And then you will take this spirally shape. Oops, can you see it? It's a little hard with the glare. There. The spirally shape is going to be the center of the flower, and that's what I cut out on red. So once you've got all the hearts, the pink ones and the green ones, you're going to fold them in half. Just like this. And then 2 halves are going to go together to make the petals here. When you're doing the spiral shape on the red, I found it was easiest to cut this out, trace it, and cut out the whole shape. And then once you have your cutout, I found it was easier to put the spiral shape from the template on top of the red paper and cut them together on this line. You're going to cut them on this line, and that's what's going to make the spiral shape. So I just found it a little bit easier to cut them at the same time. If you cut the template out first, then you just have to make sure you don't accidentally cut through the red paper in the wrong spot. Because at the end, you want the red paper to also be this kind of coil. Then you start folding it, rolling it in from the outside. And you just keep rolling it, rolling it, rolling it, like this. And it's sort of going to make a rose shape. That's what's going to be here in the middle. When you get it rolled up like this, you can use a little bit of glue. You can use liquid glue or you can use the glue stick from the kit. You just want to attach it together so it won't unravel again. Once you have everything cut out and your center rolled and glued together, then you can decide how you want to arrange it on your paper. So I put everything down first before I started gluing. Can you see how the hearts are kind of back to back? You would glue one way and one the other. Whoops, it's hard to see with the lights. There, like that. That's what makes these look like hearts. And then you will glue the 2 green hearts at the bottom to make leaves, and you can draw a stem with something that you have at home if you have a green crayon or green marker. And then you can decorate some more on this if you would like, or you can give it to somebody to share and share your pretty flowers. You can share your pretty cookies too. Friends, thank you very much for joining me today. And please come down to the children's room to get your kit, or give us a call if you'd like to pick it up at curbside service. Or if you can't come in and get a kit and you would just like the recipes, please email at kids@adamslib.org and I will be happy to send you the recipes. So again, have fun baking and reading the stories and crafting. Thank you so much, friends. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.